Solo leveling. Chapter 3. The hunters kept walking in the dark lair, but the lair seemed to have no end. They started worrying as they had already walked for more than 40 minutes. Jin-Woo apologized to Miss Ju-hee for forcibly bringing her to this raid. However, Ju-hee was not in a mood to talk about it. Jin-Woo asked if she was really fine. Finally, Ju-hee couldn't hold her anger and confessed that she was not at all fine. She yelled at Jin-Woo, reminding him that he would have died in the D-rank dungeon previously if the injury was slightly above where it was. She couldn't comprehend why Jin-Woo would agree to further explore the lair. Jin-Woo was grateful for Miss Ju-hee's kindness, but didn't tell her about his necessity for money. Ju-hee saw Jin-Woo depressed and didn't scold him anymore. She rather asked for a treat sometime if he was really guilty. Ju-hee found Jin-Woo blushing and teased him a bit. As they were talking, a hunter yelled that they found the boss room. Everyone was amazed at the majestic door. They never saw such a big door before. Kim asked Bok if this place was dangerous. However, he still was not ready to leave empty-handed after coming all the way. Mr. Song was excited to be first one to enter the dungeon. So he opened the door, declaring that he would go alone if necessary, but won't turn back. Other hunters too trusted Mr. Song and decided to move forward. The door was opened. Mr. Song declared that opening the door was quite easier. All the hunters followed behind him. As they entered, blue flames lit up the torches in the room. The lights made the room look more gorgeous. All the hunters scattered around the room looking for monsters or magic cores. It seemed that no one was here for a long time. The statues in the room looked weird. Some of them held weapons, while others held musical instruments. Jin-Woo felt the statues were scary. He had a hunch that someone was staring at them. Suddenly, the hunters found a huge statue. Some wondered if it was the boss. Others didn't quite agree with them. They felt it was only a big statue. Jin-Woo alone felt that the statue was weirdly larger than others. The hunters scouted the entire room, but they found no monster. Mr. Song suddenly saw something inscribed at the floor. He identified that it was a magic seal. As Mr. Song was deep in his thoughts, a hunter called him to see an inscription. All the hunters gathered around a statue holding an inscription. However, only Mr. Song seemed to be capable of reading it. The inscription was a runic text. The text on it stated Karthanon Temple's commandments. The first commandment was to worship the Lord. The second commandment was to praise the Lord. As Jin-Woo was looking at the commandments, Ju-hee called him and pointed at the huge statue. The third commandment was to prove the faith. Just as Jin-Woo looked at Ju-hee, she told him that the eyeballs of the huge statue seemed to be moving. Jin-Woo too seemed to feel strange. It was as if the air in the room suddenly felt chilly. There was a caution on the inscription. Those who didn't follow the commandments would never return alive. As the hunters were looking at the inscription, a sudden loud noise disturbed them. They turned back and saw the huge door had closed. Everyone started to panic. A hunter even declared that it was a mistake to come here. He went towards the door to leave the room. He declared he want no claim on the boss and the treasures. He would just walk out of the room then. He went to the door and gave it a push. Mr. Song shouted immediately, reminding the hunter not to touch the handle. But it was already too late. A gush of wind blew and a blood stained the big door. Before anyone realized, a huge statue had already chopped off that hunter's head. The statue then quietly stood beside the door again as if nothing happened. Everyone was scared. The big statue had moved. Jin-Woo was in despair, thinking that they would have to fight the statues. Ju-hee held him tightly. Ju-hee clearly saw the eyeballs move again and was scared. Jin-Woo heard Ju-hee and turned his head back. As he looked at the statue seemed to be looking at him as well. Jin-Woo wondered how they entered this hell. Chapter finished.